Here's the man who brings together more than 25 years of experience working with giants such as EA, DreamWorks, and Criterion Games. In 1996, he was nominated for an Academy Award for Special Effects with the hit film Twister. He was also awarded the BAFTA for his work on that film. He also served as an art director on many AAA franchises, including Need for Speed, Godfather, Skate, and Burnout Paradise. His stint at DreamWorks has seen him supervise visual effects for films such as AI, Mission Impossible 2, and many more. He is presently employed as the Chief Visual Officer at Zynga. He is the one, the only, LaBounta.
You are a very prestigious visual officer. You've been a chief supervisor for Steven Spielberg also. You have been given a BAFTA award. You've been awarded for, you've been nominated for an Academy Award for Twister. And you've happened to make one of my favorite games, SSX.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you like that one. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the game design and what went behind it.
Yeah. Well, that was my first game.
All right.
I'd been working on movies, and SSX was, it was all brand new to me. But it was really exciting. It was a great team we were working with. It was so much fun. And in Vancouver, where we were making the game, we have mountains all around us. So whenever I went skiing, I just see so many things, like the snow sparkle, or the way the snow lies on the trees, or the way the trees look, and the slope of the land, and all these things. So I couldn't wait to get to work and kind of try and get that into the game.
All right.
So it was super inspiring to work that way. Yeah.
So I've read that the team which made and designed this game, they actually went on location to figure out how the mountain structures were like. Is it true?
Well, yes. I mean, I think we all did individually. By the time I joined the team, we didn't do a group trip per se, but in designing the mountain was an interesting process.
Yeah.
So early on in the game, we were thinking like, oh, maybe this is a game that takes place all over the world. So we had one design for the game where, okay, there's mountains in Japan, there's mountains in Switzerland, there's mountains in North America, and as you play the game, you go all around the world. And I was like, it just didn't seem quite right. And we had this concept. Steve Rackschaffner was a creative director, the head of the team, had this concept to conquer the mountain.
Yeah.
And so we wanted a really big mountain. And we were talking about like, well, maybe it's 3 mountains, but it's 1 mountain. And he's like, yeah, I'm not sure, I don't get it. And I went and grabbed a piece of clay.
Okay.
After meetings, we're trying to figure this out. Grabbed a piece of clay and just sculpted one giant mountain made of 3 peaks. And just put it on the table, and it was like, that's it. That's what we're making.
All right.
And I still have that piece of clay.
You do?
Yeah. And it was fun because it was like, after all that discussion, just a piece of clay to kind of figure it out. And then we named each mountain, and we figured out a progression and all that stuff.
So it worked out pretty fine.
It worked out great in the end. Yeah. But that creative process is really interesting. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Talking about creativity, you won a BAFTA. You've been awarded. You've been nominated for an Academy Award for Twister. So how was the experience working on this project?
On the word projects I had?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they were fantastic. Like Twister was the first time a disaster movie had been made in contemporary times, and it's one of those projects like you're kind of driving down the road 100 miles an hour, and there's no road. You're designing the road as you're going.
All right.
So, because nobody had done this before, nobody had rendered anything with that many particles in it. And, yeah, right. So we had to kind of figure it out as we go.
All right.
And working with some of the engineers like Florian Kainz designed the particle system, which won an Academy Award as well, kind of do that creative process of like, well, how should it work, and how can we make it look good, and we went back and forth on how we simulate things, and it was super creative process, and it was fun, being on the set as well. One thing I think was particularly funny about this project is after we're all said and done, Jan de Bont, the director, is at talk shows, and he's talking about Twister, and he tells the host of the talk show, and he says, well, I don't know if people know, but there was only 1 real tornado in there. and it's like, see if you can find the real tornado. There were no real tornadoes in the film at all.
Obviously. Yeah.
If there was a tornado anywhere near us while we were filming, for insurance reasons, we'd have to strike the set and go back to the hotels.
Exactly. You can't shoot near a tornado.
I thought it was a really clever idea because now people are looking really close.
Which one is the real tornado?
One, you know?
that's a great strategy.
They were all market. Digital. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I'll tell you one more story from this. So we're in dailies with Jan, and we're in a small room, and we're watching the cow shot. You know, famous cow.
Cow goes into the thing.
Right, and Jan comes in and he sees it, and he just starts laughing hysterically. He's, "Oh, that's so good! Play it again, play it again!" And he's just laughing. He's like rolling on the floor, laughing. Play that again, play that again, play that again. And we played it like 12 times. And pretty soon the producer is like, we need to move on and look at some other shots also. But he loved it. It was so much fun to see his energy and laughter, response that he got from that shot. It was really fun. Made it great.
Nice. So coming back to the gaming section of our conversation here, you worked on Burnout Paradise.
Yes.
You worked on Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Now, my point is, see, Burnout Paradise, I was discussing this with you earlier also. Burnout Paradise is a very crazed out game where the graphics, when you speed in the car, are way too different than the graphics which happen when you speed up in Need for Speed.
Right.
So why the difference in how the difference was achieved? Because I think Burnout Paradise seems more realistic when it comes to the approach, as a gamer myself. So would you care to shed some light on it?
Yeah, well, on Burnout Paradise, I consulted with the team at the very end. So I only did a little bit of kind of visual tweaking to help, design the look of the final look of the game. What some of the Need for Speed games, I worked on the entire game, so it was a little bit different. But I think Burnout Paradise and Need for Speed are very different in the sense that we had licensed cars in Need for Speed.
Right.
And there's certain things you can do with licensed cars, and certain things you cannot
do with licensed
They don't let you, start them on fire and do all sorts of crazy things.
You can't smash up a Lamborghini.
They have to be safe. People have to, be safe inside. And even though they're flipping through the air doing crazy moves, But Burnout Paradise, because they're not licensed cars, we could smash them up and crash them up. And that was the fun, Burnout is mostly about smashing and all that fun.
And the best
action.
thing is you can pick up a car from a garage and just renovate it and just go smash things.
Exactly. And I think the motion blur you're talking about, if you're trying to convey that experience of that fun of smashing and crashing and the sparks and all that stuff, you can exaggerate it a bit.
Yes,
and it certainly did in Burnout Paradise. And Need for Speed, that's a more cinematic version. It's like Gran Turismo, I think of like super safe, realistic simulation, which to me, I find a little bit boring.
It doesn't need the super safe bit doesn't need to be there somehow. It seems out of place for me.
I know.
If it's a car racing game, because ultimately at the end of the day, you're still ramming cars.
Right, exactly.
You're still going through like jungles in a supercar, which is I've never heard of. Supercars going through jungles.
Yeah, right.
So, moving on. So, you worked with Criterion. How was the experience working with them?
Oh, it was great. That was such a talented team. Oh my God, really, really great team.
Any memories attached to that place?
It's interesting when you go into Criterion. They on the top of the door as you're entering, they have a saying like "Stand tall and proud. You're entering Criterion. Maker of the best games in the world," or something like that. And the team had so much pride and kind of really owned what they were working on, and super talented people. One of my fond memories was, and it's not about making the game so much, but it's the experience of working with the team. Is working in the UK was new for me, and I loved going out to the pub with the guys after work. This is part of the tradition, and a lot of good work gets done in the pub.
Of course it does.
So, I know I've even talked to friends at different studios, film studios and game studios that, having that experience, that bonding experience together is really important. That you wouldn't imagine how many different products get made with the help of going to the pub and things like that.
Because you're sitting with a bunch of people who are like sharing the same idea, same thought processes. You can amalgamate all those ideas and bring out the best.
I
think it's a very good practice.
So, and it's part of British tradition, I think, that's what people do together. So I was happy to join them.
Well, thanks a lot, Mr. LaBounta, for being here with us today. But of course, you have to give a message to our viewers, something for them to take back.
I think the opportunity for games in terms of visuals is so great. Your first impression when you play a game is like what you see. So it's like, does it look good? I think even on mobile games in particular, free-to-play games, you haven't paid anything yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So that first emotional response is like, oh, wow, that looks awesome. I want to keep playing it. And hopefully the game design's there that keeps you engaged and keep you playing that game. Or if you look at it and you go, that looks a bit cheesy. That doesn't look so good.
It's like, okay.
And you could play any other game. So games looking really good visually is super important to our industry. And I hope the presentation I did today, people learn some things that they can use in making those games just like really fantastic experiences for people.
Than they already are, probably.
Well, we're a young industry, and I think we can learn a lot from other industries, like the film industry that's been around a long time, and how to make our products even that much more production value. The people play it and they go, wow, this is a really good quality experience. Quality is super important. So all that fantastic work everybody's doing, spend that extra time polishing it and just making it perfect, and be critical. My message is be critical. Like, I've worked with some game teams where they've said, well, nobody complained about it. It's like, what? Is that your quality bar? Nobody complained about it? No, we want it to be great, where people are looking at it and going, that is awesome. I can't wait to play it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mr. LaBounta. It was a pleasure and an honor to talk to you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Let's hope that you stay more than 1 week than you already were here.
Sure.
And I hope to see you again sometime later in life.
Yeah, it's been great being here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.